Hi, welcome to the part 2 of the past life reading. So if you haven't already started on the part 1, that's where you should go. So this is the second part of the reading. Again, this is the second video of the 3 that I'm posting using all the entire deck of the past life oracle cards, so you can get a full past life experience reading. So definitely go to the part 1 first to scan the cards and pick cards from that video. And now come over here to the second video. Here I am, and we're going to go and continue. Here are additional cards to fuel the energy. If you need more time, pause the video. I will quickly turn over all the cards and then put the timestamp below in the description box where you can go right to your card and get the expanded meaning. And like I said in the first video, what you're going to find are the cards will not shock you. It will actually be shocking how they're not shocking, because on some way they're going to resonate with you and remind you of what you've experienced in your past that may be affecting your current life. So definitely go to the first video first, and now come over here and scan the cards and let your energy pull you to the correct cards for you. Don't insist that cards are for you. If not, go to part 1 or part 3. There are 3 videos in total, and only choose the cards that your energy is truly resonating with. So you want to flip through the 3 videos and let yourself naturally allow your energy to pull you to the correct cards for you. Feel free to pull as many cards as you want from any of these videos, and then go in the description box and find the timestamp and get your expanded meaning. Okay, so I'm going to go right through it and turn over all the cards, and then you can fast forward to the timestamp. But if you need more time, pause the video. Okay, here we go. First card, spouse. Second card, health. If you got this card, ooh, Greco-Roman. If you got this card, Karmic Relationship. If you got this card, Unrequited Love. If you got this card, Atlantis. If you chose this card, male, female. If you got this card, baby. If you got this card, wars and battles. Wow. If you got this card, finances. If you got this card, biblical. If you got this card, orphan. If you got this card, vows. If you chose this card, oh, I love this card, forgiveness. And if you chose this card, Native American. Okay, so go down in the description box and you can fast forward to the timestamp for your expanded message. If none of them really resonate with you, go to the other videos and find the cards that your energy is bonding you with, and those will be your messages. So let's get right into it. So the first card here is spouse. So let's get right into spouse, and I'll let you know your expanded meaning for this card if you chose it. Spouse. You drew this card because your question relates to a marriage relationship in this life or a previous one. Perhaps your current spouse is someone with whom you shared a romance or a relationship before. If you're single at present, your future spouse is likely from your past lifetimes. In some cases, lovers reunite across centuries and share an undying bond of true love. This is what is usually referred to as a quote-unquote soulmate. So drawing this card can signify that the person you're inquiring about is in fact that individual. Wow, that's an awesome message. Okay, so now we're going to health for your expanded message. You chose this card, health. Your relationship to health and healing is influenced by other lifetimes. You may be suffering from a physical problem that was inflicted upon you during your last life. Perhaps you reincarnated so quickly that you didn't have time to deal with the underlying issues. Your physical health has caused you hardship, yet it has also taught you a deeper level of compassion than you could have learned in a healthy body. You've also developed healing skills that can benefit others. In fact, you may have already known that you're a healer. This knowledge was acquired in previous lifetimes when you performed healings for others. Back then, your earthly needs were likely taken care of by the community, so you may struggle with the idea of charging money for healing work in this life. It's helpful to know that in this current Western society, everyone must charge for their work, including those who provide spiritually based services. Interesting. Wow, that's your message. So now we're going over to Greco-Roman. Greco-Roman. Here we go. You chose this card indicates that you had a significant life in Greece or Rome that is influencing the situation you're inquiring about. You may have noticed that you're drawn to Roman architecture or Greece architecture, culture, spirituality. Perhaps you've even visited areas of the Mediterranean which felt strangely familiar. Often, when we visit a place where we've lived in other lives, we experience a sense of deja vu. During your Greco-Roman lifetime, you had experiences and relationships that formed the basis for your present life situation. You've also carried the knowledge forward that you gained in that lifetime. Now that you're consciously aware of your connection to Greece and Rome, spend time researching these ancient cultures and the spirituality associated with those places. Your research will trigger memories and insights, and you'll come to better understanding of yourself and your situation. Wow, that's an interesting message. Okay, so now we're going off to Karmic Relationship. Let's see what this is all about. If you chose Karmic Relationship, this card indicates that one or more of the people in your current life are from previous lifetimes. You both ended your relationships with karmic imbalances. This means that one or both of you are most likely harboring old feelings that need to be healed and released. When this occurs, you will be set free from recurring destructive and toxic relationship patterns. In some cases, this card will arise when there's a reunion with a beloved soul from a previous life. Perhaps you finally reconnected with a romantic partner from your past, or a new friendship is bringing you great joy. With healthy past life connections, you'll immediately feel a sense of comfort and familiarity. You receive this card in answer to a question or concern that involves a karmic relationship. Fortunately, you can appeal to heaven for help in releasing any old stuck energies or emotions. You may also be guided to work with a specialist in past life regression and relationship healing. So that's your message for that card. Okay, so now we're on to Unrequited Love. Let's see what this one is. If you chose Unrequited Love, let's see, Unrequited Love. This card indicates that you had a painful experience with unrequited love in a prior lifetime. The person you loved deeply didn't share your feelings, or may have been betrayed or abandoned. You may have been betrayed or abandoned. This individual may be in your present life. These experiences of unrequited love may be negatively affecting you now. For example, you might distrust your lover's intentions or his or her ability to make a monogamous commitment. Sometimes these doubts have a basis in current reality. However, romantic insecurities can also be a product of prior lifetimes. When that occurs, the unconscious insecurities are difficult to pinpoint or heal unless they're consciously realized. This is where irrational jealousy and neediness may actually ruin an otherwise good relationship. Sometimes the best cure is past life regression for couples so that you can both remember the situation that caused you pain in your lives. Wow, and that is your message. So now we're going on to Atlantis. And let's see your extended meaning for Atlantis. If you chose this card, Atlantis, your lifetime in ancient Atlantis is affecting your current situation. You have soul memories of this idyllic civilization that offered every imaginable wonder. There's a longing for the utopia that you unconsciously remember and which you know is possible in this world. Your soul has remembered the tragic ending of Atlantis, and you may have developed phobias about the ocean as a result. Although you love the sea, perhaps you prefer not to go swimming or sailing. You also recall how the majority of Atlanteans were peace-loving, with the exception of a few political leaders who misused crystal power to the detriment of all. So you may be extra sensitive to issues relating to political corruption in this lifetime. Interesting. And that is your message. So let's go to male, female, and see what message, the extended message, if you chose male, female. Male, female, this card signifies you've lived most of your lives as a different gender than the one you embody in this life. For example, you may now be living as a female, while in most of your previous lifetimes you were a male. In such cases, gender confusion and even health issues are often related to this change of gender over lifetimes, because for most of your lifetimes you lived as the other sex. You may not feel comfortable in your own skin. If this is your first lifetime as a woman, you may develop gynecologic issues or even experience infertility. If this is your first lifetime as a man, you may not relate to traditional masculine roles. This card asks you to have compassion for yourself and trust that your soul is doing the best it can. Remember that your soul is the result of all your past experiences. Wow, and that is your message. So now we're going to baby. And if you choose this message, what is your expanded meaning? Baby. This situation you're inquiring about involves an infant on some level. Your unconscious mind will reveal the way in which a baby plays a role in your current life. You may have already received the answer in the form of a thought or feeling. Trust this information, as your unconscious mind will slowly and gently help you remember and release painful memories. At first, you may think you're imagining this information, but as you put together more pieces of the puzzle through signs and additional recollections, you'll feel confident in claiming your past lifetime. This card can speak about you as a baby in this or a previous lifetime. There may have been a trauma that you suffered as a baby, or that it involves a baby of yours in that lifetime. It may also describe parenthood in this or previous lives. Your feelings and thoughts will guide you so that you can discern the specific meaning to you. Wow, interesting. Wars and battles. Let's go to wars and battles now. For your expanded meaning for wars and battles. You pick this card, it indicates that you suffered or were killed in a war in previous lifetimes. Your unconscious will tell you whether you were a soldier, an officer, or a civilian who was a casualty during a battle. That lifetime could have turned you into a pacifist, or it could have made you conflict phobic, and you cannot stand any measure of violence or even loud voices. Conflict phobia prevents relationships from deepening, as part of the authenticity stems from sharing your true feelings with another. Conversely, that lifetime may have filled your heart with anger and the desire for revenge. In such a case, you would have difficulty controlling your temper. This may even lead to addictions in your attempts to bring about peace. If you have that natural warrior spirit, it's important to channel it in peaceful and constructive ways. For instance, being an activist for positive social change, or a legal advocate who champions the underdogs. Interesting. So now we're going to go to finances. Let's see, if you chose this card, what is your message for finances? Your expanded meaning for finances. Your relationship with money is being affected by your past life experiences. For instance, you may have had a lifetime of extreme poverty or even wealth. Many people struggle to save money because their other lifetimes involved communal wealth, where the convent, tribe, or village provided for everyone's needs. In those lifetimes, there was no such thing as individual savings accounts or separate possessions. As a result, you may find that your finances are perplexing and upsetting, and they're a mystery. Your income may roller coaster up and down until you come to terms with the fact that you're currently incarnated in a Western capitalistic society that operates on individualism. To heal this situation, understand that money is merely energy and can be used for good purposes or negative ones. Know that money is in itself neutral. It is what you do with it that matters. Act with the intention to help the world through clarity. Act with the intention to help the world through charity and generosity. That is a noble virtue. And that is your message. So now we go to biblical. Let's see what your expanded meaning is if you chose biblical. Biblical. When you read about Jesus, Moses, or other biblical figures, you know that there's more to the story because you were there. Either you were a follower of Jesus or Moses, or you lived in the Holy Land. You may have also had lives alongside other famous biblical figures. As a result, traditional religious interpretations of the biblical stories don't ring true to you. You know in your heart and soul what really happened. As such, you tend to follow your own religious and spiritual path. If you have witnessed the crucifixion, you may have emotional scarring stemming from the heartbreak and horror that followed your beloved teacher's death. These reactions may have caused you to shut down your spiritual sight and other gifts. To reconnect with your God giving abilities, pray for help from the biblical figures to whom you feel most connected. You'll learn that they have forgiven all transgressions and have moved on with their spiritual lives, and they'll help you do the same. Wow. And that was your extended meaning. Okay, so now let's go over to Orphan. If you chose Orphan, this is your expanded meaning for Orphan. You do this card because you had one or more past lives as an orphan. This is creating a current life abandonment fear for you. In those lives where you didn't have your mother and father's protection, love, or support, you develop great strength and inner reliance, which continues to help you in this life. However, you may have also developed survival skills that are double-edged. These coping mechanisms help you get by, but they also blunt your heart and emotions. Most likely, this card is a reminder to acknowledge that your true mother-father is God. You're also reminded that you have a family of choice consisting of friends and other loved ones, including your pets. In spiritual truth, it's impossible to be an orphan. Your true heavenly parent is always with you. If you do tend to isolate yourself, you may benefit from seeking compassionate support from other groups or qualified counselors, but you're never alone. You're never a true orphan. Okay, so that was your expanded message. If you pick vows, let's see what the expanded message is for vows. If you drew this card because the vows that you took in previous lifetimes are blocking you in this one. Most likely you were a monk or a nun when you made these vows, which still continue to haunt you. Common examples may include a vow of poverty or self-denial, which could block your flow of abundance, a vow of chastity, which can inhibit your romantic or sexual life in the present, or a vow of self-punishment, which can lead you to sabotage or hurt yourself. Unless vows are severed, they can affect you across time. Fortunately, vows are very easy to undo. It's simply a matter of firmly stating, I am willing to sever all vows that are blocking me in this lifetime. I ask that all aspects of painful vows be now and forever undone in all directions of time for everyone concerned. By saying this either aloud or silently, you help to heal the bondage of the past and open yourself up to the present day joy and abundance in all its forms. Wow. And that's your message. So now let's go to forgiveness and get the expanded message of forgiveness. Okay, if you chose this card means the situation you're inquiring about will be healed or improved through your willingness to release old stored anger. You may not even be consciously aware that you've been holding on to resentment. Your anger may show up in subtle ways, such as high blood pressure, addictions, insomnia, moodiness. Wouldn't it feel great to have stable moods and more control over your health? Forgiveness isn't the same as saying that the actions of others were justified or acceptable. Instead, forgiveness is a statement of self-empowerment. You choose to detoxify yourself of all the stored anger and other negative energies. After all, when you hang on to anger, it only hurts you and not the other person. To heal the situation, be aware that meditation and introspection are important practices that can help you. See that your anger is merely a transient feeling, like a dark cloud floating across the sky. Recognize that the source comes from a past life and let it go. Forgiveness is cathartic and profoundly healing. Free yourself from negative and harmful emotions. And that was your reading. That was beautiful, actually. Okay, so now if you chose Native American, this is your expanded meaning. This card signifies you had an important past life as a Native American, which is connected to your current journey in this life. If you've been drawn to Native American artifacts, cultures, and spirituality, it's because they're familiar to your soul. Studying Native American teachings can help you awaken ancient memories and knowledge that you already have stored within you. This card can also signify cultures from other countries as well. Perhaps you have some hidden anger or pain because of a battle or loss during your time as a Native American. As with other past life traumas, a session with a qualified counselor can help you heal this old energy In this way, you can retain the lessons in love from that lifetime and release the spiritual blocks. Wow. So this has been your expanded meanings for the part 2. Definitely go over to the part 3, and that's the last of the cards. So we're using all the cards in the deck. Definitely check out all 3 videos that have cards for you to connect with to get your messages. See you over on the part 3. Take care.